Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. This is a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 58, where I played the modern Benoni defense. So let's check it out with the opening book here. I'm going to leave the computer, the chess engine off, and have some little tactical quizzes along the way. But I will report in what the computer was finding here. So we see, to begin with, knight f6. I'm hoping to go into a Nimzo Indian. He plays c4, so I play e6. You see these are very popular moves. And he goes, knight c3 allows the Nimzo Indian, and knight f3 is sort of an anti-Nimzo line. And the most common move here is d5, going into a queen's gambit declined. You can also play b6. That's a move I've played quite a bit. That's a queen's Indian setup after b6. Bishop b4 check here is the Bogo Indian. And the fourth most popular choice here is the one I played, c5. And this leads to what's called a modern Benoni. So the immediate push d5, the exchange, and then d6. You get this pawn structure with the the black pawns on dark squares, and your hope is to get a lot of pressure on this diagonal with the fianchettoed bishop and push ahead with the pawns. So he plays knight c3, and I continue with g6. He plays bishop g5. Now you see that's not the most common move. More normal, well, more usual is e4, just pushing ahead in the center. And knight d2 is an interesting idea. That can be played in either order, e4 and then knight d2 later, with the idea of pushing ahead with f4. And also, the knight rerouting from d2 to c4 is sometimes a good plan in this position. You want to put pressure on the weak spot in black's camp, which is this d6 pawn. And this will be especially weak after the bishop is fianchettoed, because it's just the queen here supporting it. So that's the usual plan. Bishop g5. And bishop g7 was played. And then he went ahead with e4. And I castled. It looks like castling is not the greatest move here, although the computer did not think it was particularly bad. So h6 maybe is a better idea, just trying to chase this bishop away. There are times later in the game when I wish I was thinking about playing h6, and it didn't seem to be good at that point anymore. So maybe playing it earlier would help out. Okay, so I castle. And he plays bishop d3, and so we're out of opening book. So we'll just look at the notation tab. Some normal development takes place here. Maybe e2 is a better square for that bishop, but no big deal. And white has the usual opening advantage here. And knight d2, this is the start of an interesting plan. So, but let's back up one move. I missed an idea here. In this position here, after bishop to c2, the computer came up with an interesting idea. It's not entirely, it's a sort of tactic. So if you guys want to think about it for a little bit, you can pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and show the answer. It's b5. And you might think, well, what's up with that move? But this knight is, because it looks like the knight can just take it. But the knight is needed for defense of the e-pawn too. So if the knight takes there, you throw in the move queen b6, and if he defends the knight or tries to maintain it there, then you can just grab the e-pawn, and if he goes back to protect the e-pawn, then you can grab here. And because you're attacking his knight here, it's hanging, he doesn't have time to come out with the rook, and the computer thinks the best move here is bishop to d2. So that's a pretty interesting idea, and somewhat typical of the Benoni. So you have to look out for these shots. You're trying to expand on the queen side. That's part of your plan. And you also want to distract white's pieces away from the defense of his center here, because if white can get his center pawns rolling here, he can get a strong attack right through the middle of the board there. So the Benoni, by the way, it's a very double-edged opening, but you can play it and you get some interesting positions. So knight e5. Knight d2, and maybe h6 could have been played here. I go queen c7, and I was a little bit worried about the move knight b5, but it turns out that I can just play queen b6, so that's no biggie. H3, So just normal moves, keeping the knight out of the square, attacking my knight. I go back here, holding on to the center, and right here, yeah, his move knight c4 was a mistake, and it allows me to get an advantage. So up until this point, it's been even or slightly better for white with the usual opening advantage. But after knight c4, it's better for black. So, you know, this is a good square for that knight, but you need to secure it with a move like a4 before you play the knight there. So now these moves come with tempo. I'm attacking the knight, it has to move, and then I can push ahead with b4, kicking this knight out of the way. It's similar to the idea we saw before, that knight is needed to support the e-pawn. And after this, then black is just much better, because it's not just winning a pawn, but it's a key central pawn. So a lot of the juice has gone out of white's game here. But right around here, I was having trouble. Yeah, move 18. So knight, I was having trouble finding the best moves and finding a plan right along here. So you get an advantage, but how do you exploit it? Instead, the computer thinks the best plan here is to take the bishop and then play this knight to b6, challenging the knight here right away and putting more pressure on the on this d5 pawn. So white's advanced d5 pawn is isolated. It's a logical target. I don't know why I didn't consider that. I was thinking more of the king side and bringing my pieces over this way. You see, and this mistake repeats. I play here, and he defends his pawn. The bishop was putting some pressure on the b pawn, although it was never actually hanging. But so that's a good move. I play h5 here, thinking to secure this square f5 for my bishop. But actually, if we back up, the square b7 is a perfectly good square for the bishop. I guess it's not usually a good square for the bishop on the benoni, because usually there's a knight. I mean, there's a pawn. There's a pawn on e4, and this structure is hard to break down. But right now, this is an isolated pawn, and bishop to b7 is just a good move, just increasing the pressure on that pawn. So that would have been the way to play it. Okay, so that was my opening lesson there. You win that pawn, but you've created other weaknesses in the center, and you should be attacking them next. And my obsession over here with the king side play was leading me in the wrong direction. So I played h5, he played b3, and I played bishop f5, all according to plan. And after bishop h4, okay, d8, knight g3, here is a tactic I missed. So this is a simple tactic. So take a second or two and see if you can spot this tactic. Okay, I'm going to pause the video if you want to think about this some more. I'm going to show you the answer. A simple move of knight to c3. just forking the queen and the rook. That's the way to play that one. Yeah, once again, I was focused on the king side and the counterplay over here, which did not do me any good, as it turns out. So I take his knight, and he takes back. And I still have an advantage. I'm still a pawn up, but slowly but surely, I exchanged off his bishop and took here. And this is still good, but what's happened now is I've allowed counterplay. Black has a number, white. Black has gained a pawn, but white has a number of attacking ideas, and he's going to get that pawn back. And the game is just much more double-edged than it was. If I had played it correctly, it would just be a one-sided game where I'd be winning, and my opponent would not have counterplay. But now he plays this good move, f5, opens up a line from the bishop. From the bishop onto this pawn, and which is now doubly attacked. And at the same time, the queen is supporting. The queen is supporting an attack along this diagonal. So it's pretty good. Oddly enough, black is still better. He is a pawn up, but now he has to defend very carefully. And let's see. The right way to defend is actually to take that pawn. So after this next move, knight e3, trying to fork these guys, I think white starts to get a good game. So these next moves are kind of forced. He takes the knight, I take back, and he plays bishop h4, just getting out. And then I play rook f8, trying to defend by pushing the f-pawn. And this plan just doesn't work. If we back up, yeah, well, I guess I'm still okay here. After here, it's about even. I haven't lost yet, and I need to play a more accurate move here. I think rook e6 is recommended, or queen d7, and then this move here, I was just losing a pawn, and I don't know what I was thinking. Probably f6 is even better. I was trying to keep this diagonal open for my bishop so I could play bishop to here. But this tactic is not worth very much. His king can just step out of that, and then so it's just a one-shot. Doesn't buy anything but a move, and it's not clear the bishop is on a good square here anyway. So bad idea all around. He takes, I take, queen comes in, and I play this one-move tactic. He steps out of the way. And king g7 is the final blow. I think it's pretty much all over here. I try running away. Oh, by the way, the queen is coming to this square, h7 with a check. And when my king moves out of the way, the queen is going to grab my queen. So I try to get away from that. But this check drives me back. Maybe I could have tried going back, but I think everything is losing at this point. And my opponent went on to win. He could have also played his rook to here, skewering my king and queen, and just be queen up, and then he still has the threat of queening that pawn. But anyway, that was the game. I thought it was pretty interesting, and it's amazing how quickly things can fall apart if you're in one of these sharp positions. So that's the Benoni for you. And hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.